This video is going to show you how to log into Mathspace and how to utilize the different features and resources that are available to you in that tool. The link that you're going to want to use to access Mathspace is bit.ly/FCPS Mathspace, and this link will be posted in the Google Classroom and on the Google site. And once you get to this website, you're going to go ahead and log in. This takes you to a portal that we used to log in called Clever. If you go directly to mathspace.com, you're not going to be able to log in. You have to log in through Clever. So you're going to type in your FCPS username and your password, and then you're going to click Login. Right now I'm logged in using just a generic student account, but you will see your name here when you log in. They like to put this fun little quote here. I don't know if it changes. It's been the Steph Curry quote a couple times when I've logged in. You have an avatar here. You can customize that if you want. You can't put your own picture, but you can choose from a lot of different options. You can incorporate from Facebook or from Google. Whatever you would like your avatar to be, you can go ahead and set that on this page. This side menu is going to help you navigate. Everything that's we're going to do is going to stem from the dashboard. So our quote changed, and when you're on your dashboard, you can see your progress. You earn points for working on tasks. You can see different classmates and tasks that points that they have earned, any sort of topics that you may have worked on recently. That shows up down here, and then this green start button is going to show you if you have something that's assigned. And this is what you guys are going to be doing for homework after you kind of go through and practice with Mathspace a little bit. You do have your first Mathspace assignment tonight. So you're going to click Start. And this is just a properties and equations practice. And it'll tell you when it's due. So when you guys log on to yours and you take a look, it'll be due in 2 days from the class that we've had. I think it'll show up as 3, and then the next time you log in, it'll get closer and closer to the deadline. If you want to work on the assigned homework, you can. Or you can say, no thanks, I'll choose my own. And you can choose from any of these topics here. If you want to search for something specific, you can. If you don't want to be in geometry, yours should be in algebra. You can come over to United States. We are in Virginia. And you guys want to be in Fairfax Algebra 1 and Algebra 1 Honors. The nice thing about this, though, is that you have access to all of these curriculums. So if you want to review something from 8th grade math or from 7th grade math, you can. If you want to take a peek ahead in Algebra 2, you can. Pre-calc if you're feeling adventurous. But all the stuff that we do, for the most part, is going to be in Algebra 1 and Algebra 1 Honors. And here you can pick any of those topics. So if as I'm working I feel like I want more practice with expressions and operations, I can click here. I can work on a question set, I can look at a lesson, I can do some practice here. But I want to go back to the task that was assigned. And if I come to my tasks, I can see things that I've worked on, things that were assigned, and this is a task that has been assigned, and it lets me know the due date right here. So this is how your tasks will be coded. We have this one set up for first and second period, so it's due at the start of that class, and yours will always be due at the start of your period. So we're going to go ahead and click Start Task. And this is where Mathspace kind of really comes into its own with all the different tools it has available to you. You have your question up here, your answer choices. You also have a lot of different things that you can use. You have a sketch pad here that you can kind of draw, do whatever you need to. You can erase that, you can clear it if you need to. Just know that anything that you put in the sketch pad isn't going to be saved. So you definitely want to just keep that in mind. It's just kind of a scratch paste. It's not going to submit any of the work that you put there. If you come over here, if you're having any sort of technical issues, their team has been great. So if you come across anything, feel free to report it. If you're stuck on a question, you can watch a video and they'll kind of walk you through how to answer a question like this. Alright. You can click out of that to close it. And then if you want to get a hint, you can go ahead and click for a hint. So as there's no addition, we know that the answer must be multiplication, so we can get rid of the addition answers. We have to look at how it's different on the two sides. When we look at this one, we see that the grouping changes. So that's our associative property. Pick my answer, I click Submit, and when I get that green check mark, it means that I got the question correct and I'm ready to move on. And I'll also make a note as to whether you watched the video or used a hint. That's okay. On homework assignments, I encourage you guys to use the hints. Use the videos to help you, especially if you're stuck. If we're ever to give sort of a graded assessment, just to kind of see how you're doing on your own, those hints in those videos will be turned off. We take a look at our next question. Which property does this demonstrate? I see we're multiplying by the reciprocal, so that's our inverse property. And we got it right, and we're good to go. Okay, same thing here. We don't always have the video option available. Like on the last question, we didn't have it. I guess they don't have a full bank of videos yet. Maybe they're working on it. But again, we have that video. We have that hint available to us. We can see that we are trying to get x by itself. I would assume that they're considering multiplication by 1/5 here instead of division. So we're going to go with A and submit that. We got our correct answer. And we can continue. And now this is where it really gets into the cool interactive features of Mathspace. So if I'm solving this equation, I can actually type in step by step what I'm doing into the computer and get some help as I go. So my first step is going to be to multiply both sides by 5. And when I do that, I'm going to end up with m minus 1 on the left side and 3 on the right side. Once I've got that line in, or not 3, 15. Once I've got that line in, I can hit enter. And it'll give me this yellow check mark to let me know that I'm on the right track, but that I have to keep going. I'm not finished until I get to the green check mark. So now we can go ahead. We know that we're going to want to add 1 to both sides. But say I make a mistake. Say I subtracted 1 from both sides. And I said that m equals 14. I hit enter, go to my next step. I get the gray X. That means that my step was incorrect. So I know that I have to take another look and I have to keep going. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to correct it. We'll put 16, hit enter, and I got the question correct. It'll show up here with a yellow bar. This means that I got the question correct in the end, but I made a mistake somewhere along the way. When we do homework assignments on Mathspace, just like on WiserMe or other online tools, I'm not necessarily grading it for correctness. I just want to make sure that you're doing it and getting that practice. So now we hit continue. Go into our next step. You have all sorts of equation editing tools down at the bottom here, so if you need to type in any sort of math symbols, exponents, fractions, the repeating number bar, radical, or pi, you have those options, but we're just going to kind of step this one out. So we want to add 9 to both sides, and I can actually type that adding 9 to both sides, and it will take that as the correct step. So we can keep going. We're going to have 2x equals 14. We keep going, we divide both sides by 2. If I wanted to show that division by 2, we could put 2x over 2, and then 14 over 2. So it really depends how much you feel like showing out. And we'll just get down to our final answer of x equals 7. And once you complete the task, it'll give you this final score. Again, we're losing a little bit of percentage here just because I put that wrong step in on the last question. But I'm not going to be looking at that necessarily, just to see that you're completing the task and you're giving it your best effort. You can click review your scorecard, and this will kind of walk you through question by question how you did. If you'd like to practice a problem again, you have that option. And again, this one shows up yellow just because we had that misstep in the middle there. If you go back to your tasks once that's done, you'll see that this is done. It's there, but it doesn't go away. But it's still finished. You have that see scorecard option instead of complete the task. If we go back to our dashboard, now we will see that we earned some points. So we earned 30 points for completing that task, and we're ahead of our other kind of dummy account because they haven't done any tasks yet. So that's kind of the task side of it if you have assignments and you want to practice. You also have the ebook available to you, and this is kind of the textbook portion of this. Once it loads, you want to keep this curriculum as Algebra 1 and Algebra 1 honors, unless, like we talked about before, you want to go back and review something. But if you want to take a look at what we were doing in equations, you can just come down here, pick your topic. If you're looking at equations that are a little more complex, you can take a look at these. And these kind of go through examples that you can work. They have videos that you can use to practice. And just a lot of great practice opportunities that they have for you guys here. And then that's pretty much it. Once you're done, you can log out, and that's Mathspace.